The two best words in sports are Game 7. For the first time in this series, our young Chicago White Sox are playing Game 7 baseball. The winner is headed to the World Series. Game 1, next episode if we win, at Citizens Bank Park against the Philadelphia Phillies. If we lose, back to the drawing board, another offseason where the team will probably be worse, with all of the key free agents scheduled to departure. There is a lot at stake for our Chicago White Sox, having lost games 4 and 5 in the last episode on the road in Minnesota. Game 4 lasted 15 innings. No one could hit the ball in extras until Minnesota did late. Yeah, we scored 6 runs, but it was really an inexcusable effort down the stretch, and our defense was really bad. 3 unearned runs scored off of multiple errors allowed when Taj Bradley was in the game. Game 5, we didn't get our best outing from Bryce Miller, and we found ourselves down in the series 3-2. Very similar to where we were against Seattle in the ALDS, trailing 2-1. Game 6 was competitive. We trailed 3-0 at one point, tied the game quickly, turned into a pitching duel towards the middle, and then in the bottom of the 8th, Edgar Caro, a 3-run homer to put us ahead. Hayden Wesneski had a good but not great start. The bullpen, though, was absolutely awesome. Drew Thorpe obviously will not pitch in Game 7. The last time he pitched, which was Game 3 against the Twins, he did not record a single out. Ultimately, it will be Taj Bradley who gets the start, and he's operating on short rest, having started in Game 4. He threw 5 innings. He allowed 4 runs. Only one of them was earned. He really was not that good, though. I didn't think he played his best game, and we're going to need him to really perform here in Game 7. But look, he's our ace. I think he's the best pitcher on the staff. I trust him. I do have a plan, though, pitching-wise. We've got a secret weapon that we are going to unleash. That guy is Ezra Valenzuela, our back-to-back all-star closer. We're not using him as a closer today. He's only pitched twice in the Minnesota series. He threw 3 innings in Game 4, and it feels like we wasted him because we lost, since the offense couldn't hit in extra innings. But my thought process is that we're not going to have Ezra come in the 9th. He's going to pitch a lot earlier, and he's going to pitch probably multiple innings. As for the offense, these guys have been phenomenal all postseason. Kyle Teal, Lou Bob, Edgar Caro, those guys are supposed to be our superstars, and they have been exactly that. Now, we have been without Cam Smith, who got injured back in Game 5 against the Twins. He did not play in Game 6. His status for Game 7 is up in the air. It is questionable. If we make the World Series, he would probably be good to go for Game 1. But I'm not thinking about the World Series. I'm thinking about how we're going to get there. And the only way to do that is to win this game. It's win or go home for the White Sox, who have been money with their backs against the wall so far in the playoffs. We trailed 2-1 in the ALDS against Seattle. We took Game 4 on the road, took Game 5 at home. Here against Minnesota, we trailed in this series 3-2, and then we won Game 6. 3-0 in elimination games. We've got to win one more, and we're headed to the World Series to face off against the defending champs. We've got our 2 best pitchers in Taj Bradley and Ezra Valenzuela, who will likely pitch most of the game. We're certainly the favorite here, but anything can happen in playoff baseball. Zebby Matthews will get the ball for the Twins. He's had a really strong year. He's been good in the postseason. They trust him in this spot, and with how he's looked all year, I don't blame him. I would trust him too. So ultimately, Cam Smith will not play. The doctors have not cleared him. We tried to get him out there. He will not go. James Wood, who's been banged up, will go. He did play Game 6. He'll play Game 7 in the 8-hole for whatever reason. Brian Ramos and Oswaldo Escobedo will both start. Shane Schmidt will likely come off the bench. So here is Taj Bradley. He's pitched in 3 postseason games this year. He's 1-0, 3.71 ERA, 1 whip. He's not allowing base runners, but when guys get on, they've been really effective off of him. 1 away for the young infielder, Kalen Culpepper. 1-2, swing and a miss on the high 12-6. Got to get the swing and miss stuff going early. I think that will be key for Taj Bradley. Here is Correa. Count is even. 2-2. One of the most experienced postseason players ever. Flies it into center. Luis Robert is under it, and he'll make the play. If we lose this game, this could be the final game as a White Sox for guys like Taj Bradley and Luis Robert, who are free agents at the end of the year. I want to bring these guys back, obviously, but we don't have unlimited money. Just because the Reinsdorf are gone doesn't mean we can spend as much as we want. Zebby Matthews gets the ball for Minnesota. 4.24 ERA, 1.41 whip. The goal for us is just to try to score a couple runs early. We've got our two best pitchers, Bradley and Valenzuela, who are going to throw most of the game. We don't need a flawless performance offensively. We just need a couple of runs. We need to stack some base runners, and having Corey Julks drawing a walk is a good start. 2-2 for Luis Robert, swing and a miss. Nice pitch. 12-6 had a lot of movement on it. That one well low towards the knees. 2-2 for Edgar Caro. He's hitting .370 in the postseason. In the left, that'll drop for a hit. 2 on, 2 away. Big spot for Ketel Marte, who's usually really clutch. But with runners in scoring position this postseason, he has 0 hits. Can we change that here in Game 7? The count is 2-1 for Marte as he looks at the fastball for strike 2. We already find ourselves in a pivot point here in the bottom of the first. A chance to gain some momentum early. As that one gets away, count is full. We'll certainly take a walk here as well. I don't love the idea of the bases loaded because I know this team is going to screw it up. But Colson Montgomery's had a great playoff run. He's up next. Grounds it to first. Andrew Vaughn makes the play. And the White Sox do not score anyone. Marte leaves 2 more runners aboard. A very fitting start to the game for the White Sox, leaving multiple runners on base. We'll move into the second. Bradley against Brooks Lee. Swing and a miss on the fastball. Lee's had a weird series because he's had a lot of good at-bats. He's just not really hitting the ball very well. Emmanuel Rodriguez is hitting the ball well. He's had a phenomenal postseason, hitting .360. And that will continue. Gets by Waldo for a single into center. The Twins get their first base runner of the game and a fast one at that. Rodriguez is a big guy, but he can move. Nearly 80 speed. Andrew Vaughn's had a great series against us. That is a fair ball. Kyle Teal playing in the outfield today does a good job of cutting off the ball, so Rodriguez is not able to score. We're mixing and matching defensively today. Caro behind the plate, Ramos at first, Kyle Teal in the outfield with no Cam Smith, of course. What a spot now for James Wood. 2-2, 2 on, 2 away. Looks at the high cutter, count is full. I question why they put him in the 8-hole, but guess what? They get one of their best players up in a huge spot in this game. Wood up the middle. Marte with the snag and the throw. If that ball gets by him, Minnesota is scoring 2. That is a gigantic defensive play by Ketel Marte, which completely changes the game. He fully redeems himself for not driving in those runners in the bottom of the first. Full count as Waldo Escobedo with a really good at-bat as he draws the walk, making, I believe, just his second career postseason start. 1 on, 2-2 for Barney Wagner. Got him looking on the cutter. The rookie playing in his first Game 7. It's the first Game 7 for a lot of these guys as we remain scoreless going into the third. Solid inning for Zebby Matthews. We got into a little bit of the jam in the last inning. Minnesota had 2 runners in scoring position, but Bradley got out of it. Culpepper with 2 away into left. It is caught by Julks. So far, so good for Taj Bradley, 3 scoreless. I don't know how long he's going to go because, remember, he's operating on like 4 days rest. So even if he pitches really well, it's not like we're going to get 8-9 innings out of him. So we have to be cautious, and as we know, Ezra Valenzuela is coming in at some point. Culpepper, backhanded throw to first, is in time. Good play at second base. 2-2, 2 away. Luis Robert hits it high into the air. Culpepper under it, and he will make the play. A pitching duel so far. We are scoreless through 3. Neither offense showing much. Just 2 hits for Minnesota. Only 1 for Chicago. An opposite field single by Edgar Caro back in the first. As we go top 4, 3-1. Correa draws a walk. If this game's not going to see a lot of runs, that means every base runner is important. Both teams have to take advantage of the guys they get aboard. Brooks Lee, 2-2, swinging a miss on the cutter. Another punch out from Lee. Bradley, that's his third. 2 of them to Brooks Lee. Wallner, the 2-1 with 2 away. Hits it high into center. Luis Robert is under it, and he will make the play. 4 scoreless for Taj Bradley. We threw our ace on short rest into a big spot here in Game 7, and so far, He has very much delivered. We'll go bottom 4. Shout out Zebby Matthews. He is hooping so far. We've got to start getting some runners off of him. Marte, 2-1, ropes it down the line. Good scoop by Vaughn for the second out of the inning. That'll bring up Colson Montgomery. He's hit for great power throughout these playoffs. Only hitting .229 for his average, but some big home runs. The 1-2, Montgomery lines this one into right center. That ball is going to drop for a hit. He's going to have to hold it first. Rodriguez gets to it fairly quickly. But we've got a runner aboard and a fairly fast one here with 2 away. For Brian Ramos, who's looked good in limited postseason opportunity, and he goes down looking. Way to swing the bat there, buddy. I was excited about giving Ramos more opportunity with the injury to Cam Smith and the struggles of Shane Schmidt. But in Game 7, we got to be a little more aggressive than that. Both of these pitchers looking absolutely phenomenal. Go figure, our offense has been the best in the league for 50 games now. And then it goes to Game 7 and we can't hit the ball. Luckily, Taj Bradley is keeping us afloat as James Wood draws a walk. Minnesota is starting to get more base runners off of Bradley. Not much more, but they're getting a handful. Wood digs for second. Caro picks it up slowly. And Minnesota's got a runner in scoring position for David Santos, who's a really good contact hitter. Now he's only hit 175 in the postseason. The moment's been a little bit big for the rookie. 2-1. Rips it into right for a hit. Wood waved around. Teal, the play at the plate, is well in time. He got him. What a throw by Kyle Teal, a guy who does not usually play the outfield, with an absolutely perfect throw. James Wood never stood a chance. He was not even close. Still scoreless as we go to the middle of the 5th. With both of these pitchers' pitch counts rising and both of them operating on slightly short rests, we're going to see these bullpens earlier than expected. Minnesota will be the first team to make a move. 4 shutout innings from Zebby Matthews. He was great. They're going to bring in Marco Raya, who's only allowed 1 run in 4 1/3 innings so far. 3-2, Waldo on the ground to third. Santos, backhand, on the run, it's in time. Another very good at bat for Waldo, but just better defense by David Santos. That'll bring up Corey Julk, sends it high into the air and right with 2 away. Wallner under it, makes the play. And through 5, this game remains scoreless. We are not going to keep Taj Bradley out there for the 6th. As good as he's pitched today, pitch count's getting higher, 4 days rest, starting to slow down a little bit. We've kept pitchers in too long throughout the postseason. It's happened with Hayden Wisniewski. It's happened with Bryce Miller twice. We're not going to make the same mistake today. Bradley pitched an amazing game, but it's Ezra Valenzuela time. Normally we see him come in during the 9th inning, or maybe the 8th inning, or an extra inning. Not the 6th. But he hasn't pitched since Game 4. That's the last time Taj Bradley pitched. He threw 3 innings in that game, but he's well rested since. We're hoping to get 3+ innings out of him again as he strikes out Culpepper to start. Ezra has struggled in big games for us in this series. He's looking to change the narrative today as he gets Correa on the curveball. So far, so good. Here in Game 7 for Ezra, 2 up, 2 down. Looking to strike out the side. He does not. But Brooks Lee pops it up into the very shallow outfield. It's caught by Colson Montgomery. 1-2-3 inning for Ezra. The pitch count was barely above 10. Makes me think maybe he can throw 4 innings. 2-3-4, Teal, Robert, and Caro. The 3 best position players on the roster, or at least the best healthy ones, are due up. Someone's got to give us a spark here, right? Marco Raya will stay in the game. Full count for Kyle Teal. Ropes this one into left. That will go for a hit. Good start to the inning. Leadoff runner is aboard for our 2 best natural power hitters, Luis Robert and Edgar Caro. Let's get a big hit here. I'm not asking for a home run. I'm asking for something in the gap. Give me a double or something. That works. As Lou Bob pulls back, and the count is now full. I will say, though, if you're going to hit a homer, I certainly would not complain. That'd be cool, too. 3-2, draws a walk. 2 on. Nobody out. This is the chance to strike. We have to capitalize right now. Given the lack of offense we've seen today, we can't guarantee we're going to get 2 base runners with nobody out for the middle of the order again. Big opportunity for Edgar Caro. Checks his swing. Unfortunately, he did go around. Caro's been clutch in the playoffs. He just hit the big 3-run homer to take the lead last night. Can he do it again today? He does not. He doesn't even swing the bat. Great. First out of the inning. Good work by Marco Raya. That'll bring up Ketel Marte. Still hitless with runners in scoring position. Launches that ball foul. I think that went out at the stadium. Good Lord. He's got a chance, though, to break his big streak here as he's behind in the count 1-2. Swing and a miss on the changeup. There's no way we actually messed this up, right? 2 on, nobody out. We have to take advantage. Big at bat for Colson Montgomery. He's given us some massive hits in the playoffs, especially at home. I'd be curious to see what the home-away splits are. 1-1, looks at the curveball. He was tempted for a second, but yeah, that is certainly not the pitch to swing at, buddy. Ahead in the count 2-1. He's 1 for 2. Singled his last time up. Sends it into left field. That ball is going to drop. Teal around third to the plate. The throw. Not in time! And the White Sox are on the board. Colson Montgomery with another big hit. It's 1-0 Chicago. He didn't hit it well. It bloops into left, but it just goes into no man's land. The outfielders have to play back with how well he has hit for power throughout this run. And now Brian Ramos has a chance to completely kick open the door. 1-0's nice. 2-0, 3-0, or even 4-0 is better. So because of that, that is exactly what is not going to happen. Pops it up. Culpepper makes the play. On one hand, I certainly don't love that we left 2 guys on. That could really bite us in the rear end down the stretch. But we got one. Why is Kyle Teal the one celebrating in the dugout? He's literally the one who scored. Top of the 7th, Ezra, of course, still in the game against Rodriguez, who swings at the curveball in the dirt. Ezra's pitch location has been flawless so far. He looks dominant to start this game. Everything we could have hoped for out of Ezra to start his outing looks good. But he's got to keep it going. 1-1 for Wallner. That one is grounded to first. Ramos fields it cleanly for 2. 7 outs away from the World Series, but we're only up by 1. We've got to keep chugging along. Andrew Vaughn, the 1-2. Swing and a miss on the sinker. 6 outs away from the World Series. Ezra's been perfect through his first 2 frames. Hopefully, he's got 2 more to go. Bottom 7, another pitching change for Minnesota. Marco Raya allows 1 run in 2 innings. Not horrible, but not great. Dowry Moretta will replace him. 3.24 ERA. He's let up 3 in 8 1/3. 8-9-1 hitters due up. We will start with Oswaldo Escobedo. The 2-2. Checked his swing. Pitch was in the strike zone anyway. As I mentioned earlier, though, I thought Waldo had some really good at-bats. He didn't get a base hit today. Had a couple full counts. Drew a walk. Did a good job that time. I feel like he's been productive. Barney Wagner crushes it into left for a base hit. 108 off the bat. We were waiting for a big swing from Barney Wagner. The youngster clearly still not fazed by the big moment as we get another runner on base here now with 2 away for Kyle Teal playing in right field. Teal reached base and is the only run to score back in the last inning as Kyle Teal crushes it into right. Pimp job. It's out of here. 386 for Kyle Teal, and the White Sox lead at 3-0. His 5th home run of the postseason, 110 off the bat, and Chicago has control for the first time in this game. Real control. 1-0 is nice. 3-0 is a lot nicer. So Dowry Moretta will be taken out of the game. Allows a massive 2-run homer to Kyle Teal, giving the White Sox some much-needed insurance. Griffin Jacks, the 2026 reliever of the year, will replace him out of the bullpen. He's pitched fairly well, especially in recent games against us, but his postseason averages against righties and lefties are both above 300. Luis Robert will look to contribute to that as he sends it into the gap, and this one should go for extra bases. Rodriguez at the wall. There will be no throw to second. 2-out double for Lou Bob. I would love to add to the lead. Let's give ourselves as much cushion as possible. Let's go up by 100 because you never know with these goobers. Caro grounds it to first. Vaughn sends it over to Jax, and Minnesota gets out of the inning. Another runner left in scoring position, but we don't really deserve to complain because Kyle Teal with 2 outs and a runner on. Blast one into right to make it a 3-0 lead. 2 more innings, 6 more outs. We got this, guys. Let's go. James Wood hits it high into center. Lubab La Pantera is under it for the first out. 5 to go. James Wood, the big trade deadline acquisition, unable to come up big here in Game 7. Ryan Jeffers into left. Julks is under it. That ball goes a mile into the air, all the way near the warning track as Julks makes the play. We are 4 outs away from the World Series. Top of the order now. 2-2. Santos up the middle. Gets by Valenzuela. Finally, Minnesota gets a base hit off of him, for crying out loud. Now that they've got 1 on, what's to say they can't keep getting more? Tying run. Carlos Correa is on deck. 2-2 for Culpepper. Looks at the sinker, and the count is full. So now the runner at first will be able to go when he wants. 3-2. Swing and a miss! That would have been a ball. That would have been a walk if Culpepper let it go. Ezra baits him to swinging and whiffing at the curveball. 3 outs away from the World Series. TJ Antoine out of the pen for the Twins here in the bottom of the 8th. I have questioned their decision-making of why they've put their closer into games so early in this series, but here in this spot, it feels appropriate. Marte checked his swing. I don't know what on God's green earth he was thinking there for out number 1. Colson Montgomery up the middle. There's another one, a hat trick. His 3rd base hit of the game. He, of course, was the one who started the rally back in the 6th, looking to start another one, but this time to help us basically clinch the game. 3-2. Ramos, that is a darn good take. He draws a walk. And from there, we're going to go to the bench. This was Waldo's spot, but we're going to bring in Shane Schmidt. I know I've been hesitant about playing him because I think the playoff environment feels overwhelming for him, but he's still a really, really good hitter, and we have to at least get him in there a little bit. 1-2, 2 on, 1 away. Swing and a miss on the slider. The postseason continues to be a different kind of animal for the 18-year-old first baseman. 2 on, 2 away, 2-2. Wagner into the air in right. Wallner is under it. He will make the play, and that will bring us to the top of the 9th inning. A 3-run lead for Chicago. All we need is 3 outs, and we're going to the World Series. There will be a change here into the 9th for the White Sox, but it will not be the pitcher. We're going to make some defensive switches. I want our best defensive players out there, so Braden Montgomery will play left. Shane Schmidt will stay in the game. He'll play first. And then Corey Julks, Ketel Marte, and Colson Montgomery will rotate around the infield. Ryan Ramos, meanwhile, is out of the game. We'll start with Carlos Correa. 3-4-5 hitters due up for Minnesota here against Valenzuela. The 1-2. That one is hit well into left. BMO is under it. 1 down, 2 to go. That will bring up the cleanup hitter for the Twins, that being Brooks Lee. He has struggled throughout the postseason. We're going to change that in what could be his last playoff at bat as he swings and misses at the inside fastball and is behind in the count. 1-2. 3 1/3 innings so far for Ezra Valenzuela. He's allowed, I believe, 1 base runner. This is everything we could have hoped for from the pitching. And now Ezra's starting to pitch around him. And the count is all of a sudden full for Brooks Lee. The 3-2, ball 4. Just the 2nd base runner that Ezra has led up. Our plan of having him and Bradley pitch the entire game, it seemed like it was working. But now there's another hit. Rodriguez singles into right. Back-to-back base runners allowed by Ezra. Tying run is at the plate. As good as Ezra Valenzuela is, he is starting to slow down. He's pitched 3 1/3 innings, which I believe is a career high. So we're going to take him out of the game. I don't want to overwhelm him. I don't want his arm to explode. Rather, we're going to go to the bullpen, even if it is for someone who is a little bit worse, that being our high-leverage man, Tony Santillan. With Ezra Valenzuela gassed, I felt like I had no choice but to switch the pitcher. Santillan, we've been having loosen up. He's good with runners in scoring position. And we'll start with Matt Wallner. 2-1. Swing and a miss on the circle change. Wallner is the tying run. The Twins are 1 swing away from being right back in this series. 2-2. Grounder to third. Julks charges after it. Throw to first. Not in time. Everybody is safe. Hold on a minute. The bases are loaded. Tying run is at first. Go-ahead run is at the plate, and it's Andrew Vaughn. The script writers could not have come up with anything better than this. Base hit brings home 2. Extra base hit gets 3. Home run gets 4. But a ground ball in the infield ends it. As he looks at the circle change and is behind 1-2. Santillan, grounder to short, this could do it. Montgomery, Marte, Schmidt, ball game! White Sox win the pennant! Chicago is going to the World Series as they beat Minnesota in 7 games in the ALCS, winning this one by the final score of 3-0. Chicago will play against the Philadelphia Phillies, major underdogs going into the World Series, but this team has been an underdog all year. We were mediocre for 5 months of the season, but we got hot at the right time in September. It's been a bumpy road in the postseason. We did not waltz our way into the World Series. We've played in 4 elimination games, and we're 4-0. This team just seems to have it when their backs are against the line. Today it was the pitching. We had our 2 best pitchers throw most of the game, and they were phenomenal. Taj Bradley and Ezra Valenzuela are the reasons why we won this game. The offense really was not great, but they made plays when they needed to. Big RBI by Colson Montgomery in the 6th. Kyle Teal with the 2-run homer in the 7th. But this was certainly a pitching duel all in all. Minnesota's offense to end this series ice cold. They have not scored since the 3rd inning of Game 6. That's 15 innings without a run to end the year. Zebby Matthews was really good. Bullpen certainly a little bit worse, but still not our best day offensively. 8 hits, 4 walks. Made plays when we needed to, though, and then the pitching was tremendous. Bradley, 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 walks, 3 punch-outs. Ezra only allowed 3 base runners in 3 1/3, and then Tony Santillan got the double play to finish it off. So we've got the White Sox and the Phillies officially in the World Series. These 2 teams could not be more polar opposites. We've needed the maximum amount of playoff games to get here. 5 against Seattle, 7 against Minnesota. It has been a tough road in this postseason. Not for the Phillies. They are 7-1. They swept the Brewers and they beat the 100-win Dodgers in 5. They're 3-0 on the road, and they have home field advantage for this series, having won 98 games, tied with the Rangers for the 2nd most in all of baseball, only behind the Dodgers, who they just beat in 5 games. This roster is loaded head to toe. Aiden and Miller, what a draft pick that has been. Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, veterans who have been around for a while. There's one problem, though. Injuries. They are one of the few teams who's gotten unluckier than us. We're going to get Brock Burke back, which is excellent news. We've been without him since August. Cam Smith should be good, hopefully, as well by the time we get to Game 1. Everybody else, though, is a lost cause. The Phillies, though, are more injured than us. Kyle Tucker will not play in the World Series with a broken forearm. Although, to be fair, he didn't play in the World Series last year. Hell, he didn't play the final 5 months of the year last year, and it was not an issue for them. Adley Rutschman, broken forearm, will not play. He's close to coming off the injured list, but he will not be eligible by the time this series starts. Massive loss to the Phillies. And then the biggest one, Randy Arozarena, dislocated ankle, will not play in the World Series. 3 years, $30 million, one of the best free agent signings ever. 2027, he had a WAR of 5. 2028, it was nearly 6. This year, he had a WAR of 3 in 60 games. That's like an 8-WAR season with a full pace. Goddamn. So the Phillies are without 3 of their best hitters. But here's the thing. They've been without these guys for months. These injuries did not just happen. The Phillies have not only survived, but they have thrived without them. They acquired Ellie De La Cruz at the deadline. They've seen youngsters like Justin Crawford and Gabriel Rincones playing bigger roles. Their pitching rotation, by the way, probably the best in the league. Kirby, Keller, Painter, Abbott, Nola as their 5. That is a damn good group. The bullpen is phenomenal as well. Guys like Miguel Castro, James Karinchak, the former White Sox, and Orion Kerkering. They have, in my opinion, the best pitching staff in baseball. I think they had the best roster in baseball, even ahead of the Dodgers. Sure, LA is ranked first in the game. Their star power on offense is a little more exciting, but the Phillies pitching staff is levels ahead of the Dodgers. They are the best team in baseball. They have had a very stress-free playoff at 7-1. Nobody else is getting hurt for them. And they just won the World Series last year. They've been there. They've done that. We have not been there and done that. But maybe, just maybe, as I said at the beginning of the episode, anything can happen in baseball. Next episode, we will play through games 1, 2, 3, and maybe 4, depending on how the series goes. So we will have a lot to go over. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new and excited for the World Series against the Philadelphia Phillies. Peace out.